All right, 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. I'm Jeff Stanfield.
I'm Andy Shaver. Welcome to the Big Honker Podcast. Welcome to the show. Winding down the days here at the Big Honker Lodge.
2 crane hunts today, 2 limits of cranes. Great day.
It was.
It was a good day.
It was. Blake pulled me through.
Good day for late January. Well, after he rewarded Lou yesterday on film. So he should. A few things today I want to talk about.
Uh-oh.
Well, first thing you do, I want to talk about the tragedy at Reelfoot Lake.
Yeah, fuck.
A lot of prayers go out to the family. For most of y'all, they're waterfowl hunters that listen to this. We have a lot of people that aren't waterfowl hunters that listen to this. 2 young men were in a duck blind. I've heard so many different stories. Basically, It comes down to some crazy old fucker with a gun.
70 years old.
Knocked on their door. The kid opened the blind door, and he shot and killed him, then shot and killed another kid. Then another kid, he didn't know he was on there, jumped out of the blind and hit him in the head with a bow door, I heard, knocked him down and got away. And then he shot him, I guess, as he was escaping.
I don't know. I've read so many different things also. I've seen where he came over because I guess they peppered him. I've seen it to where there was a confrontation because
they've had confrontations earlier in the year too.
Oh, really?
Is what I read one deal. I don't know.
I've not read, but I mean, there's so many different things. I don't know if they peppered the guy. I don't know if they were out of blind. Is another thing that I heard. They were out of blind. He was trying to go to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Regardless of what happened, it's horrible. It's tragic. Prayers for that family. That's a horrible deal. One of the things that I'm trying to think how to say this sensitivity, being sensitive and all. The thing that bothers me is these people that get on these deals and says, we as duck hunters are better than this and stuff. This isn't a duck hunting situation. This is an old man that had dementia that had a gun.
You think he had dementia?
Yeah, they said that he was fighting dementia. I'd read about that, and I think he was just a violent old man. And most police officers will tell you that there's nothing more dangerous than an old man with a gun.
Right.
They've lived their life.
Right.
And it's tragic. I mean, there's no way to justify anything the guy did. I don't care what you're doing. There's not any animal out there worth a human life. I got raked over the coals a couple years ago when the hurricane hit, and a lady was on a roof of a deal about to drown, and she didn't want to get in a boat because they didn't have room for her dog. And I was like, lady, it's a dog. Mm-hmm. You know, you love Lou to death, but if it come to your life or Lou's gone.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way it is. And there's no animal worth a human being, and damn sure not a fucking duck. And my prayers to that family. It's a horrible deal. I don't know the whole story, I'm sure, as it comes out.
Have they caught the guy?
No, the guy's on the loose.
Wow.
And, but just it's over a fucking duck. Just, I mean, 2 kids out duck hunting, and it's just a horrible deal. It makes me fucking sick just thinking of it.
But, if it had been building all year, it could have been some animosity there already. It might not have been as random.
If that's really what happened, too. Who knows? There's so many stories out there.
It's a terrible deal.
I had 3 people send me 3 completely different stories within 5 minutes yesterday.
Right. I've seen a variant of the story where he had a buddy that knocked on the door with him. Didn't know he was going to do what he did. He clubbed him.
That was the first story I had. So was one you just said. But then I had someone that messaged me and said that they had a friend that was there. I guess at another blind. I've never hunted in that situation where you got blind after blind after blind.
Right.
And you're working ducks towards your deal, and they spin over somebody else shoots at them. But regardless of what happened, it's a horrible, horrible deal.
Terrible way to
That's one thing I want to talk about.
Kids in their 20s is all, and it just whole life ahead of them. It's a fucking tragedy. But this is just people, man. Man,
people are just fucked up these days. And there's always been crazy old people.
There's always been crazy people.
This has happened before. Another thing I want to talk about, we'll talk about politics for just a minute today. Joe Biden, I'm telling you right now, there's some voter remorse in the fucking union camps right now. Went back and everything he said, he promised them idiots that voted for him, he lied about.
Well, yeah.
Whether it's the fracking ban is now going to come out. He's already got done with the Keystone Pipeline. There's a travel ban to Africa right now. So I'm assuming anybody that's going on a safari to Africa is probably screwed. They're not going to let you fly into South Africa.
Why is he picking South Africa?
I don't know why South Africa is it. He picked 30 countries today. He put a travel ban on, but he wants to open up our southern border, which makes no fucking sense at all.
Well, and he said he was going to reverse the Muslim ban.
Yeah, well, but he's got 30 countries he's signed an executive order on a ban. This is what I don't have a problem if you banned in every country right now for 6 months, banned everybody. I don't have a problem with that. What I have an issue with is telling people you're going to do something and just blatantly lying about it. Just like he said, he's got a plan for the COVID. Now it's got to work its course. Now hydrochloroquine is an actual medicine that will work for the COVID. When are these people going to wake up and see they got fucking played by the liberals and the media? I mean, how long is it going to be? And my other biggest issue I have a problem with China. And my problem with China gets worse every fucking day. I'm sick of the Chinese. I'm tired of it. And I'm not talking about the Chinese American that lives here. I'm talking about China and the media and how they're doing us. They put a virus on us. They're opened up and doing everything. Our country is crippled. Instead of getting checks from America, the fucking Chinese government ought to write everybody in America a check. Mm-hmm. They're responsible for this. I'm going to tell you, if the United States of America would have done this if we'd have let something escape that would have wiped out a country, we'd be fucking paying for that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what they should be doing in China.
We would have been on the hook for it.
We should have been a long time ago. Them fucking politicians in Washington, D.C., they need to cleanse them bastards. They're all crooks. One of them, they are so scared of Trump, that's why they want to impeach him.
Mm-hmm.
A citizen. They want to impeach a citizen now because they're scared to death that he's going to run again.
Yeah.
They are scared. And the Republicans are just as scared of him as Democrats, all the deep state people. Bunch of no good fuckers. So if you're kin to a politician or you know him, tell him to kiss my fucking white ass.
Oof.
Fuck them bastards. I'm tired of them. All right. What else you want to talk about now? I got my shit out of my way that I really want to talk about on that.
We pretty well covered it. Reelfoot.
Reelfoot Lake, that's horrible. We've had the last 7 days, the lodge has not been that bad.
Were you already ready for a nap, Blake? Me? Yeah. Looks like he's in his comfy clothes.
Yeah, he is. He's down to his skivvies, basically.
Lucky bastard.
So y'all are crane hunting tomorrow. Finish up guys from Ohio tomorrow on another crane hunt.
Yep. Hopefully it goes as well as today's did.
Let's talk about the Monday debacle. Okay. We do not hunt water very often. No. You hate hunting water.
Despise it.
So Monday we hunted water. What did we have Sunday night?
Rain.
Yep, thunderstorm hit. Now, someone, and I'm not going to say no names, said we need to hunt up there Monday or Tuesday. Depends about getting how wet it is. Someone that's sitting at this table goes, what do you mean how wet it is? It's supposed to rain.
I agree.
Okay. And then y'all bury a fucking ATV.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Worst we've ever buried one.
It's buried. I mean, yeah, it's stuck.
We got to go get it. We're going to go get it tomorrow.
Yep. Somebody also sitting at this table said we should go in about 8 o'clock.
You were right on that. I will give you that.
And somebody at this table said, no, we're going to shoot ducks. We need to go in at daylight.
And that was me, and I was wrong about that.
And we shot 4 ducks.
And I was wrong on that.
So
but we shot a bunch of geese.
That we could have shot had we gone in at 8:30.
Right. You're right on that point.
And in the daylight, you can see where you're going. You can see, oh, fuck, these ruts look like I'm not going to be able to go another pass.
So you're putting this on me?
I'm just saying you're trying to put it on me when
you were in charge.
Exactly.
Who's in charge?
Actually, Stoner was driving.
So it's Stoner's fault then.
Blake and I, okay, here's how everything
sounds to me like it's Stoner's fault now is what we're fixing to go down.
Here's how everything shook out. We set out on this maiden voyage. We're hunting a part of this lake that I've not hunted in years. It had just rained. I don't know what the terrain's going to be like. So we set out. It's Blake. It's Josh driving. Blake in the passenger seat. I'm in the back seat with full bodies and an A-frame, I believe. We go around to where we're going to go. We have no problems at all. We get to where we're going to go. We have a conversation about exactly where to set up. And we unload our load. Stoner goes back to get everybody. And he said, should I bring the trailer out this time? I said, look at the ruts, because there's only about a 15-yard stretch.
So we did have the trailer hooked up when we got stuck?
Yeah. There was only about a 15-yard stretch.
That was not a good move.
there was about a 15-yard stretch of mud. I said, look at the ruts. If it's not bad, bring a trailer out, and we can get all the guys out here.
You don't need to say no more. Everybody listening already knows what happened now.
What?
If you wouldn't have taken the trailer, we wouldn't have got stuck.
No, he wouldn't have.
That's right.
So he drives. He's got the trailer loaded down with all the gear, minus 3 A-frames. He's got all the decoys we're going to use, plus a couple A-frames. And he's only got about 4 or 5 guys. Driving, sticks the trailer, unhooks from the trailer, drives out. He goes back to get another load. He gets the guys, drives them around, drives through there, gets another load. Coming back is when he gets stuck.
Should have never taken the trailer, though. That was a bad move.
And then, so at this point, it's 7:15.
That's when I get the phone call.
We have 2 A-frames out and about 2 dozen decoys. That's it. We've got 15 people to hide.
So by 8:30, we done a good job. We were hunting by 8:30, right?
8:30 or 9, but I mean.
So we did good. Same hunt as we normally would have. We just got to go a little early.
Yep. And then, so yesterday morning, when this all took place, I woke up at 3:15 a.m. Had everything, got everything done out here. Left the lodge at 5 o'clock a.m. We're hunting by 8:30. We hunt until 1 o'clock because the birds don't start flying back to these roost lakes until 12:30. So it's 1 o'clock when I finally said, guys, that's enough. And then it was another 2 hours.
We had lunch at 3 o'clock yesterday at the lodge.
It was another 2 hours shuttling shit across.
The latest we've
back
ever had
and
lunch
forth, getting pickups where they're going to go. It was a fucking debacle.
We got done eating lunch.
12-hour day.
And we went and scouted.
I mean, that's just a fucking hunt. That's an ass whipping of a hunt. To go that many trips. And then and now we still got a fucking ranger out there that's stuck.
Sitting and taking the trailer.
And then, so we found another path to get where we're going to go. And then Bo, last night, he buries his 4-wheeler without a trailer.
But we went and got everything undone.
He had
it was a good day hunting, though. Customers had a good time. That's what counts.
Oh, I'm sure.
We finished up with the crane hunt this morning.
Getting our asses kicked.
Well, that's why you make the big bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's been and then today was a good day. It's been a weird season this year. I had another outfitter call me today. Have y'all seen a big push of birds? Fuck no, we ain't going to see a push of birds.
Have you seen a big
It's
push
the
of
end of
birds?
January. The days are getting longer.
Why the fuck would he?
It's 66 degrees in North Dakota still.
Why would he think that there's going to be a big push?
I have no idea. I guess they had a north wind, and I don't know. I don't have a clue. I kind of.
What the fuck? How dumb can you be?
I don't know.
Are we going to get a push?
Did we see a push of birds? I was like, no.
Did we see a push? That's even fucking dumber. Go out and scout. You'll know right away that we didn't do it.
I wasn't going to get rude, but
January 26th. Do you think you're going to get a push?
Well, there's snow goose hunting there waiting to get a push.
Yeah, from the south.
We have a chance of snow next Thursday.
I'm sure February is going to be a blustery bitch.
It always is.
What is Blake sending me?
I don't know.
Robert, Anthony, Brett, Joseph, Randall, Brady, Adam, Eli. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, there's quarterbacks there, a couple of them.
Brady and Eli.
Well, that's all I got out of it. Oh, never mind. It is actually cold in Minot, North Dakota. -1 today for a high, 8, 15, 22, 27, 29. The weather we needed 60 days ago is there now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have that in December.
Yeah, we're not going to get very many birds because that water will freeze up and it's going to open right back up.
But are they getting snow? That's the big thing.
I think you're not getting places, but
if you're not getting snow up north,
no,
they're going to keep the water open. They can make do with what food that they've got. I mean, it's
-8 right now in Minot, North Dakota.
It has to have snow.
Yes.
If you don't have snow, you're not going to have birds down south. It ain't going to happen.
That's exactly right.
Stop hoping for it until we see snow up north like we saw, years and years ago. Until we have these big blizzards that come from the north and go all the way down the plains, we're not going to see.
We haven't had an Alberta clipper in 3 years. We used to have a blue norther every year. I mean, one where it's going to get cold and the wind's going to hit at a certain time, and you could see it hit here.
Right.
We hunted one time north of here before I was in business, so 30 years ago. It was just a little playa sheet lake water hole. Thing wasn't more than knee deep anyways, around about 80 acres of water. We hunted there, And it held, there might be 1,000 geese on it, and there'd be a lot of ducks. We'd shoot a mixture of, on a typical hunt, there would be 3 of us go. We would shoot 10 geese maybe, and maybe shoot 10, 12 ducks. I mean, if we shot over 20 birds between it, it was a good, God, I got a cold I can't get rid of. 20 birds. Well, while we're there, we had a blue norther hit, and you could see it. The sun came up, and to the north, it was just black. And you could see it rolling across some low clouds coming. The water froze as we were hunting.
Wow.
And the decoy started sliding across the top of the water. I had some old 747 goose decoys.
Yeah.
And it was an inch water. And by the time it was up, they were sliding across it.
Never happened this year.
And so what I would do is I'd get them wet, and then I'd hold them down for a minute until they'd freeze on the ice, and then they wouldn't blow no more. But we shot the shit out of the birds that day. But that's what we used to get all the time. Once or twice a year, and we don't get that anymore.
And the earlier the better, obviously. But, I mean, when you go...
Our coldest days were October.
You go all of November, most of December, without anything up north, your birds are going to stick. Your birds are going to stay where they are. And then, I mean, even, there was a north wind day. I think I've already talked about this. We had like a 30 or 40 mile an hour north wind, and it was 45 degrees for a low.
Yeah. It's
Are you fucking kidding me?
Like someone's
should be in the
turned
20s
heater on.
or in the teens. But, I mean, it's just...
This and
I feel like the Cleveland Browns. We were just a couple breaks away.
Or the
Packers.
One of the really weird things is that as hunters, we've got a target on our back or something. Why is there no shotgun shells right now?
What do you mean?
Why is nobody making shotgun shells other than Boss, really?
Because everybody's making making pistol and rifle rounds.
But why all of a sudden is there such a demand for them that there hasn't been before? We've went through these steals with scare tactics before.
I don't know. The guy from one of the ammunition manufacturing places.
Blake, give me a bottle of water, please. Thank you.
One of the presidents from one of those ammunition factories, he made a big video. A lot of people, I think there were 7 million new gun owners this year. So
that makes sense then.
That's a heavy burden on, because I'm sure that they just go off of so many years in business and kind of base. I need to make this many rounds.
Well, if you take 7 million new gun owners,
I think it was 7 million,
and they buy 50 rounds apiece, that's 350 million rounds of bullets.
Right. And then I think it's tough to get products here, and I mean he laid out a whole bunch of different reasons why there's an ammo shortage. Plus people are fear shopping. People are getting an extra box when they don't necessarily need it, kind of like toilet paper. So it's hard to keep things on the shelves.
I had court today, and I had a guy in court today ask me if I had any 270 rounds. I was like, well, actually, we do have some 270 rounds because Tony's been buying 270 rounds for the last 6 months, and we don't own a 270.
Is he going to trade you?
I said,
we'll get a gun, he can get the ammunition?
I said, I might trade you for some 30-06 rounds because I've got some 30-06s. Right. But I don't. The average American, how many shells does the average American need?
How many? Like shotgun shells?
Just average shells. I mean, 1,000 rounds of 40s ought to last me a long time.
Well, Jeff, those are bullets.
Okay. That's rounds. What do you call them?
You said shells.
Well, either way, I'm talking about, okay, let's say that the average guy at his house has got 100 rounds of 9mm for his pistol, and he's
not going to make it very far in a shootout.
Well, what kind of shootout do we have? If I've got to rely on me having 10,000 rounds of 9mm, I'm in big fucking trouble. First of all, I'm not a very good shot with a 9.
But you want to have it.
I don't know if I do or not.
Trust me, you do, Jeff.
What are we going to... How do you know?
Because I've seen The Walking Dead.
We're not going to be fighting Walking Dead.
When they ran out of bullets, they were in trouble.
Why did they ever leave the tank on that show?
So the more the merrier. Jeff, it takes fuel.
Why?
It takes fuel.
So did everything else they drive around on.
Now they're on horseback.
Well, but he still could have had his tank. He didn't never need to go and throw that shit. Why get out of the tank? Anybody else that watches that show, the tank should have stayed forever. Why would you go to another place and get a tank?
Matter of fact, I think one of the villains had a tank.
Well, that's what I would have had.
Season 3, I think they had a tank.
That's what I'd get. What about an airplane?
The governor.
Motherfuckers never get on a plane.
Where are you going to go? No airports are open.
They weren't very realistic about making that movie.
Ugh.
They could have had, like, if someone smart could have got out of there pretty quick.
Season 2 of The Walking Dead is the greatest series. Is the greatest season of television ever.
So where the
ever
Chinese
made.
kid dies in that one?
No,
Is he
fuck,
still alive in that
he
one?
lives for a long time. But season 2, they're on Herschel's farm.
Is that where the barn and they got the hole in the barn and stuff, the
Yeah.
floor? That was a good part of that series.
If I was on a desert island, and you told me I could watch, I could only take a little bit with me. I'm taking season 2 of The Walking Dead. That is what I'm going to take. I can watch that from the first episode to the last episode of season 2, and I love every minute of it. Starts to lose me after that. I don't have a deep a passion anymore for it. Negan's kind of fucked it up, and
I only watched.
it was a really good show.
I only
for a while.
watched till about the Chinese dude died. Maybe I don't even know if I watched that.
Glenn.
That was his name.
Negan killed him. Negan fucks everything up.
Maybe it was season 3 I watched it. But anyways, I watched a couple of them. And I hadn't watched any since.
You can't watch them. You can't. I think. No, I wasn't. Yeah, we were. We were still living out here when I started it. Nights get a little bit creepy when you're out in the country.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you.
You've been watching about 5 hours of The Walking Dead because I
I-
started it in the off season.
I watched that some bitch 3 or 4 seasons in a row, like in February, like in
Yeah.
a week. I'd walk outside and I'd be looking for fucking zombies. How the hell I'd get away from them and shit. Told Michelle, I said, I'm fucking done with that shit. She goes, why? I said, fuck, I start looking at paths to get out of here. You know, I can go through there. I could do that. I could throw you to them, and then I could run this way. And it's like, fuck, no, I ain't doing that shit no more.
Have
But I
you
never-
watched Bloodlines on Netflix?
No, Steve told me it was.
Steve was telling me about it too.
I haven't watched. I guess I need to watch it. I tried to watch it twice and I couldn't get into it. But I couldn't get into Hell on Wheels the first time.
Yeah.
I went back and watched on Hell on Wheels. That's one of the greatest series ever.
Right.
That is a great, great series.
Steve was telling me about Bloodlines. Said it's his favorite show. It's him and Kathy's show.
Yeah, they binge watched it.
So I think I'm going to try it this off season.
I gave Steve a couple of pointers on my favorite Netflix series. I told him, I said, a good wholesome family one for y'all to watch is Shameless. I think Steve would really like Longmire.
I think you would. I hadn't seen it, but I've heard about it.
It's really good. There's a lot of good things. Narcos is my favorite one. I watched one the other day called God dang it, Marcosa or something. It's about a family that owns a tequila bottling company and all the drama and shit that goes and all the crooked stuff in Mexico, and it's really good. But I haven't watched a lot of Netflix either because a lot of the shit they have come out I don't like.
Yeah. I mean,
I like anything that's history related, so I'll go back and watch it. I love The Throne. That is a great series. The Crown. That's it, The Crown. That is a great series.
you've seen it all?
Mm-hmm. All 8 seasons of it or whatever it is.
Jesus. There's 8 seasons of it?
I've watched it over the last 3 years. I watched the first 4 years, I think, in like the first month, and then each year when it comes out, I watch the new ones. It's a good series.
So you've been watching it for a while.
I've watched it for 3 or 4 years now.
Oh. I'm so far behind. Still so far behind.
What are y'all watching now?
Nothing really. We're looking.
Y'all are looking?
We're looking. Finish the Staircase.
The Outer Banks has been the best new series that I've watched on Netflix in a year.
We watched that already.
That was really good.
I think we'll try Bloodlines.
I'm going to try Bloodline myself. I might start it tonight. I was going to watch this. They got a documentary on crack that I was going to watch the other day, and it cut off on me when I was watching it.
I watched Night Stalker. 4 episodes, 45 minutes long.
I don't like that shit.
Fucking.
Blake watched it in Oklahoma the other night and said he's scared to death.
It's frightening because the guy had no rhyme or reason. He would just
Kind of like that old guy the other day.
show up to your house, rape you, and put a bullet in your head.
There are some sick fuckers in the world.
But what's crazy, it's so crazy because, and I mean, he would, it didn't matter who, if you were in his way, you know, it was not going to be good. If you were a small child or if you were an old person, I mean, didn't matter. So, but what's crazy is one of the people said right before he killed him, the lady was having a conversation with her granddaughter. She's like, you know, you need to be locking your house. This is in L.A. She said, I'm not locking my house. If I've got to live in a place where I lock my doors, I'm just gonna move. Fucking L.A. in the '80s. Go figure. But people still live that way, even out there in the big ass city. But I guess it still had that small town kind of feel to it. because I guess there were just different. I've never been to L.A., but from what they said on the show,
I didn't see no small town feel when I was in L.A.
it's just like different boroughs, basically. It's like small town, small town, small town, small town.
I think back
kind of
in the
makes
day,
up a greater L.A.
I think back in the day that it was that way. I think everything was pretty localized.
Right.
And then, it just exploded into a huge
But like
mess.
Brentwood, I think Brentwood, those type places, I think they have their own police force.
Yeah, they do.
And they said that was another reason this guy had such a long reign of terror is because there were just so many different small police forces. They said, you could go 5 minutes and you've already skipped 6 or 7 different precincts. And back then, they didn't communicate with one another because everybody was, trying to get the big bus or whatever. And if L.A. Sheriff got involved or LAPD, then they kind of shut everything down. And there was no communication between departments. So, like, one place would have evidence on the guy, and then they wouldn't tell it to the other precincts, and it was just a fucking mess back in the 80s. I don't know how any of us are still alive.
Why?
Just there's no reason that all of us should be alive right now. None. It's just how the barbarians are not still at the gate is beyond me. All the time.
Law and Order?
I am shocked every time that I walk out and shit's running like it should. Because it shouldn't be.
Why?
It just shouldn't be.
What shouldn't be running?
Fucking nut. Electricity.
Why? Because people want to get better themselves. There's law and order in this country, too. There's more good than bad.
Yeah, but how that's even a thing, how we got here, makes no sense.
Somebody was smart and invented it.
Law and order?
No, the electricity. What are you talking about now?
There's no reason that it shouldn't just be every man for himself and the devil takes the hindmost. It's just crazy that civilization has popped up and that we're not at each other's throats all the time.
There's been civilization for hundreds and hundreds of years.
And it shocks me. Shocks me all the time. Why should it be that way?
Because people want to live in a better place.
But what's better when you can just fuck somebody over and then go on about your way?
Because then someone's going to do it to you.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, luckily, we got law and order.
Luckily, we do, but it shocks me that we do.
Well, you can go live in some places there is no law and order.
Like L.A.
Mexico.
But this guy, I'm telling you what, he was a fucking piece of work. And then the best part is, so they catch the guy finally. He's raped and murdered so many.
Richard Ramirez?
Yeah. Raped and murdered so many people. And then in jail, he starts, on the way to the jail, a lady is standing on like a stop sign and flashes the fucking cop car. On the way to the jail. He's raped 8-year-old boys, 6-year-old girls, 70-year-old women. And here's this lady on the stop sign showing her tits to him.
Do you think women are desperate sometimes?
They're fucking freaks is what they are.
I would agree with you
All of them. Because Ted Bundy got the same type of treatment.
Yeah, but he was pretty suave and debonair.
Yeah, but if you watch this guy, I don't know if he got his teeth. They said he had fucked up teeth. But in the trial, like he wears those big rock star glasses. He looks a little bit like Slash. He gets his hair all fucking done up like they did back in the 80s. And then like he has fucking groupies. He's got women sending him fan mail, them naked and stuff. Like, listen, bitch, if you see him on the street, it's not a pleasant encounter. Don't be doing that.
You're right, though, and there's some crazy-ass fucking people. There are some desperate people in the world. A lot of times people just want notoriety.
Some of these chicks were pretty good looking.
Yeah, I'm sure. They just wanted somebody to be, they wanted to be famous. They wanted to be somebody else.
But, I mean, this is not a good guy.
I agree with you.
This is not a guy that you're going to have a very good interaction with.
It's not like you're going to change him. You're going to go to church. You're going to have a family and live happily ever after.
No. I mean,
they don't see that. I mean, they're not going to let him out of jail.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why a woman would send that to
There's
him.
all kinds of women that are after guys that are on death row.
That's fucking crazy.
I agree.
And it seems like the more atrocious the crime, the better looking bitches.
Do people like God dang it, Dillinger? Do they like Al Capone? Do they Bonnie and Clyde? All them people had fanfare.
Right.
Why it's no different today than it was then. I mean, crazy is fucking crazy, and there's a lot of crazy in the world.
But I just don't see there, and that's why I'm shocked every time I walk outside and fucking things are in order.
I'll tell you the guy that's sicko that really bothered me the most was John Wayne Gacy.
Why?
He would take these kids in the neighborhood, 12, 14-year-old kids, and lifting weights and shit, and he had a gym built, I guess, in the cellar of his house. He'd go in there, and he had some trick where he'd get them to handcuff themselves where they could do some kind of deal.
Right.
Then he'd fucking rape them and kill them. Them kids, I think, what a fucking horrible, man,
this Richard Ramirez, and in L.A., small town feel, nobody locks their windows either. He would just open the window. He took a 6-year-old little girl.
We had
kept her for a couple days.
We had a serial rapist in Wichita Falls growing I was probably 20, 21 years old maybe, and it was when I was in college, and he raped 15, 20 girls.
Yeah.
And he would go into their house and do the same thing. He took a little girl, then he'd give her a quarter and drop her off somewhere and let her on a payphone. They didn't have cameras everywhere and shit like. It'd be harder to get by with that stuff today as it was then.
Well, DNA too.
But he had he used like lime green condoms. In the middle of the night, a cop pulled him over guy somewhere, and he had duct tape and lime green condoms in his front seat, and that's how they ended up catching him.
Dianne Feinstein cost a bunch of lives in this deal because he did all these murders in L.A. They had a shoe print. They never released it to the press, and that's another fucking thing I got a problem with. So somehow a reporter in L.A. finds out about the shoe print, and she tells the detective, "I'm going to release this shoe print."
Why?
He said, "You will blow everything." She said, "I don't care. That's fine."
They'd fucking arrest her ass.
He said, so they had to make a deal on another story, or she was going to release a shoe print.
Well, who's she working for?
The L.A. Times or something. It's all in that documentary.
That's bullshit. And Dianne Feinstein, what did she do?
And this reporter lady was proud of it. She's like, "Yeah, I got another story that was just as juicy." But she did. She said, "I had some detective in the department blabbed to the reporter about this is the only concrete piece of evidence we have is he wears these Avia shoes, and it's black. Avia only sent one to L.A., so this is our guy." So he does all these murders, and I still don't understand about the press lady how she's not strung up, and she's bragging in this
because
in
they
this
got
series.
freedom of the press.
She's bragging in this series that she got a different story out of it.
Fuck her.
So he does all these killings in L.A., goes to San Francisco, rapes and murders a couple, and they see the shoe print, the Avia shoe. And the cops in L.A. want a bounty on the guy. So they go through the chain of command. It goes to Dianne Feinstein, who's mayor of San Francisco at the time. She calls a big press conference and she says, "I think that this is the Night Stalker from L.A., and this is why I think it. It's a certain caliber bullet. It's an Avia shoe print that's exclusive to this case," and just spills everything on national television. And the detectives in L.A. are watching her give this press conference, and they're like, that was everything we had to go on. This guy's going to change everything up. We'll never be able to connect anything else for a while until he fucks up again and has a signature. But and then he did. They said we never recovered that shoe. He changed everything after that Dianne Feinstein press conference.
The same lady from San Francisco where Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris are. We don't need any more fucking women from San Francisco anything in politics.
She's got it. She looked old then.
She was old. That's the problem in politics is you got people that were fucking up 40 years ago still fucking shit up. Did you know that I had a fucking train of thought on some shit.
And I can't remember how they caught the guy. I just watched this whole series. What did he did something. Made a mistake. He was robbing these people when he would kill them. And he was pawning a bunch of this shit off. And basically they got to a guy and they flipped him. Thank you, Stoner. They basically flipped him, and then he gave the name, and then that's how they caught the guy. But it's funny because they caught him coming off of a bus, and he got away from police, started running through these neighborhoods, and people realized who he was, and they beat the fuck out of him.
Good for them. Did they put him to sleep, or did he die of cancer?
Died of cancer. Never got the needle or the chair. He deserved a whole lot worse than fucking just rotting away in a cell.
Yep, I'd make sure he didn't get no pain medicine. Did you see where Gavin Newsom is?
You can go wherever you want now.
He's defying Biden.
How?
He's opening California up. This is what's funny. California ICU is 3 times more people in ICU than it was when they shut her down.
Yeah.
But now they're going to open it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're opening it up because people are starving and people are hungry and they want to go back to fucking work. Mm-hmm. And so Gavin Newsom's on. Biden says, he's just doing that to get reelected. Well, no shit, huh?
Yeah.
So it's all about politics. Imagine that.
That's all that it is.
Well, serial killer. That's a fuck.
Do we have any serial killers in America right now?
I'm sure there are.
You think there are?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
How many active serial killers do you think that there are?
Probably
what
100.
constitutes a serial killer, though?
Kill more than 3 people.
Is it?
Oh, no, I'm just guessing. I'd think if you killed more than one person and it was not an isolated incident, you'd be a serial killer. I mean, if you shoot 2 or 3 people at one time, I wouldn't put you as a serial killer. But if you've murdered 2 people, then you are
9.
There's 9.
Well, this is what it says.
There's 9 active serial killers in our country right
Well,
now.
hold on. I'm looking.
Most of them are going to be prostitutes that are dying.
Prostitutes. Pedro Alfonso Lopez may have killed over 300 people. Also known as the Monster of the Andes. Hold on. This is
That's in South America.
Worldwide. Active U.S. serial killers is what we're going to type in. I bet some motherfuckers just need a hug. But they said everything that could have gone wrong in this kid's and Richard Ramirez's childhood went wrong.
Well, what was that? Is it Mind Readers? What's the one show on?
Mind Hunters.
Mindhunter. Is that the fucked up people?
Yeah.
That they are everybody. Even like Ted, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. He was a smart guy.
Sure.
I mean, did he go to MIT?
I've not seen that series.
I think he went to MIT. He's a smart man. But just, man, they're fucked up. They've got social disorders.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what we've now, if you think about it, every time we have a school shooting or something, the person that does it is some fucked up kid that's on some kind of Adderall or some shit. They're all over-medicated.
Right.
They didn't medicate kids in the 70s and 80s, I don't think, much.
Just got the shit beat out of them. Smear the queer.
That's right.
It says serial killers peaked in the 90s, and then in 2015, they estimated that only 30 serial killers were operating in the United States. Numbers equivalent to the number of active serial killers in the 60s.
You know where one of the most dangerous places to be for a serial killer is? Not for the serial killer, but for his victims, is national parks.
Really?
Yes, they do a lot. They prey on a lot of people at national parks. You think about it. You got a lot of people that go to national parks that are nature lovers.
Right.
And they also think everybody's good in the
Everybody's
world.
good.
And so they're a bunch of bunny huggers and granola crunchers. Well, fuck it, that make easy targets.
Your lunch.
You're out in the middle of nowhere by yourself. You don't have a weapon or something.
Right.
I
always thought, so growing up as a kid, I thought I might want to be a homicide detective. Ain't no fucking way.
I got a good friend of mine that's a homicide detective, or was for a long time. And he's told me a lot of stories about a lot of stuff. And I'm telling you, you got to be able to put it back here in the back of your mind and go on with life.
This Night Stalker thing, it was really cool because it was the 2 main detectives. One guy had a family, young kids, and then the other guy was kind of this older school detective. All his kids were grown up. The old school detective was like, I could compartmentalize it. When I went home, I was home. I was done. But the guy with the family, he was like, it was tough. There were a lot of days where it was hard. So seeing some of the things that he would do to these children and these people.
The homicide detective would be one of the toughest things, probably the toughest. Being an ambulance paramedic guy, dragging a bunch of kids out of a wreck or a fire would be awful hard. But I don't think anything would be as hard as being a homicide detective and seeing little kids strangled or killed or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's just a shitty fucking job.
And it's every day.
And you don't, hell, just like in Wichita, they got a big murder case in Wichita Falls right now. A little kid got killed. And it's big news there. And it's a wealthy guy that is the person they think killed the kid. And they've arrested him for it and charged him with murder charges. And the police took almost 2 years to get the case together to arrest him.
Right.
Well, for 2 years, all they did was catch shit from everybody in the community for not doing their job.
Right.
Oh, he's a murderer. You're letting him go free. Blah, blah, why ain't you doing this? Why don't you, and they were doing their job. It's just a hard process. People watch CSI and they think that fucking, they go up to and they get a DNA sample and 30 minutes later it spits out of the computer and tells you what your guy is. Mm-hmm. In reality, that's not how it works usually.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you look at the intricate details of just trying to get this case together, and I mean, you're looking for a needle in a haystack because that's the clue that's going to put you over the top. But sometimes it takes a while because you don't want to go to trial.
No, because if you go to trial and he wins,
right,
then you can't try him again for that,
right. So I mean, you gotta have your I's dotted and your T's crossed before you ever go to trial, or it's all for naught.
Yeah, if you can't make him guilty without any unreasonable doubt, then you're fucked. Another problem is a lot of these serial killers are drifters.
Right.
They don't have no ties to nowhere. You know, it's not like Brother Leon down at the Baptist church hacked up his wife or some shit, and all of a sudden she ain't seen her in 3 weeks. They just randomly kill people, and they don't have no connection to them.
Fucking fingerprints back in the day, they had to like take a magnifying glass and, you know.
Well, a lot harder than it is now. Computers do a lot of shit.
I mean, they're like visually inspecting every fingerprint that comes across.
I don't know that they have it yet, but I'm sure they will. Eventually, they're going to have some kind of heat gun that they put on a signature, and they put it in there, and it's going to and show who you are.
Well, they said they can already like fingerprint your butthole, basically.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a big thing. Every butthole's different, apparently.
Where do you get this shit?
I read it. Every butthole's differently. You can catch that coworker that's leaving skid marks on your in your office bathroom. Buttholes are like snowflakes; they're all different. So if the guy takes a dump at a crime scene, we've got our man.
Well, you got his DNA.
Well, they had this guy's DNA.
You don't have Andy.
What?
How does a guy taking a dump have anything to do with his butthole?
Well, they're going to take 3D prints of every inmate's buttholes, I guess. Hope that they don't change during their tenure in prison.
Where do you get this shit at?
Jeff, look it up. It's everywhere. It's modern science.
Butthole. What's wrong with your thumbprint? What kind of pervert thought we need to look in somebody's asshole?
Listen, you've seen the movie Seven. The guy cut off his fingerprint, so he didn't leave fingerprints.
That's
a
very rare case.
Not cutting out his butthole.
Well, you got me there, but I don't think buttholes have. I think you're wrong on this. I know you are because you haven't went on your phone and searched it.
I'll search it right now. Butthole print. I need to go private on that. That way Jessie doesn't think I'm a freak. She sees my search history.
How do you do private search history? I don't even know how to do any of that shit.
Well, Jeff, it's probably best you don't know.
Well, I got nothing to hide.
Butthole prints. It'll come up. I promise.
Butthole prints. I've never in my life heard of such thing.
You can do butthole art print also. High quality butthole wall art designed and
that ain't got
sold
nothing to do with
by artists.
They don't have anything to do with fucking.
This toilet recognizes your butthole and uploads photos to. Hold on, and uploads photos to the cloud.
So basically, it has nothing to do with crime.
Yeah, but listen, they're going to see how this has affected everything, and Crime Stoppers are going to get on board.
I don't think so.
You're not going to be able to use a public restroom anywhere without having your butthole taken a picture of.
Don't think it's going to happen. But good try.
Never know. Got the article right here. I'll forward it
Where
to
the hell
you.
you get this shit?
It says it right here. Anus camera. Anus cam.
I think I had COVID a couple weeks ago. I really do. I've been hacking and stuff for a couple of weeks.
Well, I know I had
And I got
COVID.
a metal taste in my mouth, stum. I couldn't smell a little bit, and I couldn't taste for a little bit, kind of a couple of days, but I wasn't for sure. But I think I did have the COVID.
Well,
I wonder what the chances are. I'd like to know what the percentage of people in America that have had the COVID this year are. I'm going to bet half the people in this country have had it.
probably. I still can't. I mean, I'm kind of getting everything back, but
I just, man, in my chest.
I've not smelled a poop in like a month.
Well, that's a good thing.
Like Blake could go drop the net. Steve Barber took a shit on us in the blind today. Blake was talking about how bad it was. Couldn't smell it. Not a sin at all.
Well, Chinese, they fucked our country over big time.
But I mean, I was one of the lucky ones. So
If I had it, I was too. Because I've had it, but I still got this in my. And I don't know if it's not allergies either. Ever since the other day when it was real dusty and shit.
yeah, my allergies have been bothering me.
But now nobody has allergies anymore.
Or the flu. Thank God.
I did read where Chicago had their first flu death of the year.
Really?
Yep, they've had 787 more people killed by murder already this year than they have the flu.
They got to get those butthole prints out, and they'll put a stop to all this.
What do you think? Give me your prediction on what you think is going to be happening by September. Do you think Canada will be open?
No.
I don't think so either. Do you think Joe Biden will still be president in September?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to be impeached, that kind of deal. I just don't know if he's mentally can handle it till September.
Now, it sounds like we're going to be in a couple wars by then. It sounds like we're beefing up our numbers over in the Middle East.
Ain't that crazy? We went 4 years without any problems, and there's peace over there, and he's been in office in 2 fucking weeks. There has been peace over there.
Peace over there, but
there's been a lot
we
of
just
peace.
haven't been in the mix of it.
8 or 9 countries signed peace accords. It's not been near as deadly over there as it has been.
Probably not near as deadly.
Biden gets in office, and the first thing we happen is we have fucking having troops in Syria.
Yep.
So the big money machine that's running our country wants us to be in war for some reason.
Of course they do.
I don't understand why.
I always thought that Democrats were the party that was against the war.
Well, that's what they make you think, but they're not. It's not the Democrats. It's that inner circle. It's that deep state.
It's everybody.
They don't give a fuck if it's George Bush or it's Joe Biden. If they can control them, George Bush has been controlled. He's what an embarrassment to the state of Texas he is. He can take his fucking presidential library and they can shove that sumbitch right up to fucking Boston.
Too.
I'll bet you
a lot of anger on this.
I'll bet you 15 years ago, George Bush was one of the most admired people in Texas.
Probably.
I'll bet you now he's not even on the top 100 list.
15 years ago, he's still president, though.
Okay. 12 years ago. Even when he got out of office, people in Texas still loved him.
Yeah.
If he went to a Texas Ranger game
he
and
got a
stood
hero's
up,
welcome.
Today he would not. He would get booed.
Probably.
And it's very well deserved to boo him. But I just think the deep state controls all that shit.
Yeah.
You said you read that the Dominion machines, they thought, is the reason that Gore lost
No,
Bush.
you were telling me that.
Okay, I read it, and then I saw it somewhere, too. I thought that was you that told me that.
Wasn't me. I only tell you about
Would you be
butthole
surprised?
prints. Yeah, probably.
I don't. They all want to be controlled.
But why would they give it to Bush and not Gore?
We've had 2 people that got in that weren't
You're
supposed
telling me Gore can't be bought, but Bush can?
Probably so. There's 2 people that's been bought, that's been in office, that it was a mistake that they got in. 2 guys weren't supposed to become presidents that did.
Who?
Donald Trump was not supposed to be president. He slipped through the cracks, and Bill Clinton slipped through the cracks.
Right.
They never thought he would beat Bush Sr., and if A. Ross Perot wouldn't have won, he wouldn't have beaten him.
But, I mean, what does it matter?
They indoctrinate them once they get there.
But, I mean, the Clintons are
Well,
the Clintons. So
well, they didn't want Hillary in office again. They let Obama run in front of her. And Trump wasn't supposed to. They can control them. But I'm just saying, when it first started out that they put them in office, like when Trump got in, they probably thought they were going to be able to control Trump, and they couldn't. They thought, well, he's here. We'll fucking blackmail him or do this. That fucker had already been everything you could be against him.
Right. Now he's set up an office in Florida or something.
Probably so.
Office of the former president.
Yeah, he's going to be a big sticker in their ass forever.
Biden came out today and said Dems don't have the votes to impeach him.
They shouldn't even try to impeach him. What a waste of fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
But they're scared. Both sides are scared. I'm surprised they don't, because I think like Mitch McConnell and them, they don't want Trump around there because he's got too much shit on them.
Yeah. Thank goodness they cut down that Keystone Pipeline. Really going to save the energy, save the environment.
Yep, all that money going now into Warren Buffett's pocket on his train. That's what it's all about. I guess that now Trudeau's pissed off at Biden.
He should be. Killed Canada's economy too.
Yeah.
And they say there were no carbon emissions with the deal. Isn't that something that I read, or am I making that up?
I saw a picture today, and it showed a lithium mine, a battery, where they do the lithium, what that thing looks like compared to where the Keystone Pipeline is. The pipeline is nothing more than a cornfield now. It's got crops growing on it and shit. Fucking lithium deal looks like fucking somebody dropped an atomic bomb in the middle of Arizona. Why do you think Bill Gates has bought 230,000 acres outside of Phoenix?
I don't know.
It's kind of interesting. He's a smart guy, invests his money well. I've always said if they can figure out how to desalinations in San Diego and pipeline all that money to the deserts of New Mexico and Arizona, they can sure grow a lot of food out there.
We had a guy out here that a friend of his, he had just built a brand new house. He was working on the Keystone Pipeline. He was one of the 11,000 that got axed.
Really?
He said the bank will own it before I ever do. Said because I can't make the payments.
That's too bad.
Just built it.
That's horrible.
But, he for 4 years he had been, had a job, had a good paying job, and thought that this deal had gone through, and change of the guard.
I don't understand how you can have contracts on something and renege on them.
I don't either.
That doesn't make sense to me. And
just like the border wall, like you would figure that was so many miles was already done, paid for, contract signed, sealed, and delivered.
What a great! I mean, that's made a big difference too. I just don't I don't get how such a small percentage of our country is ruining us, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know? And they said, well, the election had consequences. Yeah, and I think the people now that voted for Biden, a lot of them are realizing, and plus I don't think he won anyways. Like the My Pillow guy, they can kick him off Twitter because I read a deal today because he has baseless claims that there was voter fraud. Well, there was baseless claims about Russia. You never kicked off any of them fucking people.
Right.
And they should have done that.
Mm-hmm. You'd figure. But it's a crazy
Your generation
world.
is fucking us up.
Nope.
It's all y'all's technology and shit.
Oh.
It's y'all's generation of technology that's killing us. My generation is not doing it. We raised a bunch of fuckheads is what our generation did.
There's a quote out there. Hard times make hard men. Hard men make good times. Good time make weak men.
Yeah, we've got a lot of weak ones. And they're
That's
all
where we're at right now.
It's all on the West Coast.
Too many good times. But
Right.
that's what you strive for as a parent and as a elder statesman. You want to leave everything better than what you found it. Problem is when that goes too far. What?
Mikey's newest conquest on freaking
Matched?
Tinder, whatever it is.
Why they always got to be fat potheads? That girl is large and in charge.
God almighty. She even super like me. How do you super like somebody?
Her profile says stoner, not the last name, her hobby. I got a big heart and a fucking fat ass. P.S. I can probably shotgun more than you two. She wants Mikey's penis.
Oh my God! He would never hear the end of that shit. She's a big old girl. He could lay on top and roll over 3 times and still be on top. Well, we lose Mikey and Blake's last day of work tomorrow.
Hopefully we can go out on a good crane chop. Those fucking cranes today.
Now, Steve said you had to work for him some.
Oh, we did. But the ones that did it fucking did it right. We landed 20 and the guy shot 1.
Yeah, the shooting was not very good.
And then after that, they started kind of getting with the program. But I'm so fucking snake bitten on everything this year. We had the one group do it. We shot 1 out of it. And then like the next 2 or 3 did not. They skirted us. They flared, whatever. And we looked good. Our hide was really, really well done. And you just get to that point and you lose a couple flocks and you just sit there and you're like, we're fucked. We're going to have 1 bird is all we're going to have for the rest of the day. And then we got another small group and we shot 1 out of it. And it's like, okay, 2. That's the number. Thank goodness. And then same thing. Birds would work and then that's what happened. They started landing about 75 yards in front of us. I'm like, motherfucker, what are we going to do to fix this? And then we ran them up. They landed in a field next to us. We ran them up. And then whatever it was, next group fucking sucked right in. We shot 7 out of it. And it was that way for the rest of the morning. But I'm just so snake bitten.
Those birds that y'all hunted this morning landed on a field about a mile south of there. Because Zach saw them this morning at 10 o'clock, and he just texted me just now, and he said, hey, those birds are still sucking into that field. I said, well, we got about 1,500 birds behind the lodge right now, too. Mm-hmm. And we've got another field north of here we're going to hunt tomorrow, so we're going to let the ones behind. I'm going to let those fields set till we hunt Saturday and Sunday.
You know where we ought to hunt? We ought to take Reese over to that water hole that we hunted after it's dried a little bit. Set up on that little cove because those fucking birds suck right into there. It would be...
You mean like for when the goose season?
When we're done hunting here.
You like on Sunday or Monday?
No, we can wait. The season goes till February 14th here.
Oh, yeah, we could do a fun hunt with Reese one day.
Yeah, just a fun hunt. Let the birds land. He can turkey swat 1.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I can look for net collars.
I'm going to get him, whatever he shoots, I'm going to get mounted.
Oh.
Dylan told Zach she wants to hunt again.
Really? Reese wants to go again, but I've not had the...
Take him this weekend with you crane hunting.
I might.
He needs to. It's good for him.
I just can't take Lou.
Why?
I don't want to be fighting a dog and having to deal with those finicky bastards.
Well, you didn't take Lou today, did you?
Nope.
Steve took Thunder,
Thunder. But Thunder will lay...
I'm worried about Steve.
Thunder's a gentleman. Lou is
Not a gentleman. We saw what he did to Blake.
A Bronco.
Well, I'm worried about my friend Steve.
Well,
he's getting old.
Getting older.
Life cycle really sucks.
Well,
it does, boy. Oof.
Better now than it has been for a long, long time.
No, I know that. It's just you get to that age now. I'm at the age now that a lot of my friends.
You're at the age now where 100 years ago you'd have been dead.
Probably so. But I'm at the age now where a lot of my friends' parents are dying, all of them, which my dad died this year. And a lot of my friends' families passing away. And then I'm having more and more people that I know my age that are passing away. And it's just a finicky deal.
Jeff, if there's anything we've learned from this pandemic, it's that health is wealth. If you're healthy, you're wealthy.
And you need to go live. And
you are wealthy.
And I'm fixing to start living.
Me and Blake figured that out today. We had to run back to the blind, and both of us were a little winded when we finally got back. And it was only about a 150-yard run.
What's that have to do with me?
I'm out of shape. And if you're not healthy, then you're not wealthy.
Well, my poor ass is fixing to go live, though.
What do you mean? You're going to start working out and be healthy?
I'm not going to lie and say I'm going to fucking become. I wanted to buy a fucking Peloton last year, and I didn't.
You should have done it.
I know. Trust me now. I wish I'd been a year into it right now. I am going to lose some weight, and I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to eat right, and I'm going to go vacation starting Monday.
Where are you going to go?
I don't know where I don't even know where it's going. No, it's not. I don't know where we're going. I'm probably going to go to. I want to go see Mount Rushmore. I've always wanted to see Mount Rushmore. I'm going to go to Mount Rushmore, and I'm going to go to Devil's Tower. Two places I want to see. I'll probably drive over to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, maybe go in the Tetons if it's open.
I thought you saw Mount Rushmore.
No, I've never been to Mount Rushmore.
When you went to Yellowstone.
Mount Rushmore's not in Yellowstone.
I understand it's not in Yellowstone, but you're closer to fucking Mount Rushmore when you're in Yellowstone than you are to Mount Rushmore when you're in Texas. I figured you'd have made a detour.
Mount Rushmore to Yellowstone is probably about 10 hours, and it's probably about 14 hours from Mount Rushmore. I'm going to look that up. It's not as close as you think it is.
They're a state away. They border one another.
Have you ever drove across Wyoming?
No, never. But I know when you're in one state and you got to just hop over to the next that it's not that fucking far. Especially when you had nowhere to be then.
We didn't go that way. Yeah, we did too. We had to get Payne. Payne was going to Seattle.
You were coming back. You flew back. Okay.
It's 14 hours from here to Rapid City. It's 900 miles. From Rapid City to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
That's a place I'd like to go skiing.
Well, you can go. That's where we're going to be at.
I heard that's pretty hard.
What? Jackson
Hole.
Andy, a professional like you?
Oh, I there's no doubt I would not have any problems, but
shit.
For the kids' sake, we're gonna keep it.
It's 541 miles, so it's 400 miles different. So it's just not a little close little jaunt. That's a long way. A little different, isn't it? Just going over there.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. You were right there.
I was not right there. I was way up. It doesn't matter. I don't have no time I ain't got nothing to do. I'm going to go to Devil's Tower. We're going to go to Rapid. We're going to go to Mount Rushmore. We're going to go to Devil's Tower. Drive over to Jackson Hole. Go up and hang out with some fucking famous people probably. Then we're going to go to fucking.
Is that where famous people go?
There's a lot of people famous in Jackson Hole.
Oh.
We got quite the invite, so we may go. Take some blood up on it.
I guess us famous people just flock there.
Yes,
I didn't even know that's where famous people went. It was calling to me.
A lot of wealthy people, famous people go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We're gonna go there, go to the Tetons for a couple of days, or maybe a day or two. Drive back, maybe go into Utah for a little bit, come back into Colorado, and come home.
Wow.
I don't even know what the fuck we're gonna do. We may be gone 5 days. We may be gone 25 days.
Sorry, podcast listeners. It sounds like February is not going to be much better than January.
Yes, it will. I will do a couple podcasts before I leave. I'm going to be gone a week. I will have enough podcasts done that I can be gone a week.
For 25 days?
I'm not going to be gone 25 days. I'll probably be gone a week. I can't do that to Ollie.
Oh.
Unless Ollie's going to stay at your house.
Your babysitter's gone now.
No, he's not. He's sitting right next to me, the same person that I watch his dog when he goes out of town.
You don't watch my dog.
Who goes over and fucking airs him and lets him do shit?
You do that. I'm not. Is that all I'm gonna have to do to Ollie?
Just go over to the house and let him out, go to the bathroom and feed and water him. Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
No, that's not a problem. I thought you meant he was coming to move in for a week while you're.
You want to let him live with you?
No, I don't.
Oh well. Hold on now. Has Lou stayed with us before at the house while y'all were gone?
He was a puppy. He was not potty trained.
Oh, you asked me last year when y'all went, you can stay at your house with you. Fuck that.
I said you can do what you want to do.
Well, he can stay
if
at your house.
it's easier for you and have him stay at your house, he can stay at your house. If you want to come over a couple times a day, that's fine too.
If it was just me and Mom, Lou wouldn't be a problem.
It is just you and
No,
Mom.
we got Ollie now too. Lou's not a good citizen. And you know that's true.
He's getting better.
Ollie's a whole lot better in the house than Lou is.
Well, probably so.
I know he is. All right. Hey, everybody, we appreciate y'all listening. Check us out on YouTube if you're not on YouTube yet. We've got a really busy spring ahead of us. We'll have a lot of guest speakers. We'll start doing public hunts. We'll probably have a public hunter segment. We will have one next week, and we'll start going from then and running our typical 3-day-a-week deal. Check out our new sponsor.
Athletic Brewing Company.
And I was fixing to fill in on that deal. It's non-alcoholic beer. I enjoyed it. I drank it. I like salt and lime in my beer anyways. I drink it over ice. Very, very good. Refreshing.
You can drink it and not have to worry about getting fucked up.
I drank 2 the other night, and I could drive home.
There you go.
From someone that's not a drinker. Anyways, appreciate you. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Go check out our sponsors, like Jeff said. Check out Athletic Brewing Company. Check out blindgrass.com. Check out 14 Cattle Company, William Chris Wines, Lucky Duck, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, Dirty Duck Coffee, Gundog Outdoors, Sandfield Hunting Outfitters, and Foul Bandits.